Hi, today we'll talk about NCD.io dissolved oxygen and temperature sensor, how to use this sensor, how to calibrate, and how to configure. So let's talk about the hardware here. So the hardware consists two parts, the main box and the probe. The main box got electronics, including radio module, batteries, and CPU and electronics to read the probe. And on the probe side, we got a probe which is IP67, so you get submerged in the water for a long time. In the probe, there are three elements. One, the protection cap, so remove it when you install the probe. Second is the membrane cap, and then the probe itself. The membrane cap has you need to fill with this saline solution, which is shipped with this kind of tube. So when you get the probe, you will find a tube like this one. So what you will do is you will unscrew this cap and make sure this cap is full with the solution, and then there are no bubbles, and then screw back the membrane. Just for protection, I'll close this one back here, so make sure we do not damage it. Let's talk about the main box hardware, what it got and what is the purpose of each thing. So you will see two batteries are here and four batteries are in the lid. And this is the radio module, this status LED, and there is a switches. There are two buttons here, and the CPU and all the stuff is in there. The button one is called RST reset, and the second button is called configure to configure the device. So to start with, first step we have to do is power on the device. In this testing phase, we're going to use Node-RED to test and configure our sensor. I already have Node-RED running and everything is set up. If you want to use this flow, you can go to NCD GitHub and you can find this flow over here. So let's go back to the Node-RED and let's turn on the sensor. So to turn on the sensor, I'm just going to go and push this button and move it towards the wall of the enclosure. Once you do that, your LED will blink and you will see the sensor will start sampling. The LED blinked once, it sent a packet, that packet indicated that device is in run mode. The second packet is the data packet, which the device will indicate the value of the dissolved oxygen, saturation, and temperature. And by default, the device is designed to send data after every 60 seconds, but you can change those parameters if you want to. There are so many tutorials about how to configure sensors basic settings using Node-RED. In my test setup, I already set the sensor to send data quite frequently so that we can go through a demo really quick. So let's talk about the calibration. In order to do calibration or start the calibration, we'll have to put the wireless gateway node into configure mode by pushing this button. And then we'll also have to put the sensor into configure mode. How do we do that? We will press and release the R button and immediately press and hold the config button for 7 to 8 seconds. Once we do that, we release this button. As soon as we do that, you will see the config mode will pop up, and over here we'll see a program message. At the part of the calibration, there are three things. First, clear the stored calibration. That's step one. The step two is calibrate the probe to atmospheric dissolved oxygen level. And the third step is calibrate the probe to zero dissolved oxygen solution calibration. So this is also called high point calibration, the atmospheric, and the 0 point calibration is called low point. In 0 point, what you'll do, you will have zero DO solution. You'll put the probe in there, stir the probe and leave it there for a few seconds and then send this command. In this setup, I'm only going to do the atmospheric, but the process will be same. So step one, send the command to clear the calibration. Once you do that, you will see the LED start blinking and we should be getting a packet back from the sensor. So as you can see, sensor said, hey, it went through. Let's do it again and we'll see the command again. So it means right now all the previous calibration has been erased. So next step will be, I will remove the probe cap. I'll hold the probe upside down always. That's the rule number one. And then I'll wait for a few seconds to make sure the probe gets accumulated to the atmospheric oxygen levels. Once we do that, we will gonna go ahead and send the atmospheric calibration. We'll do it again and you see the message came. I do not have the zero calibration solution. If I had, I would have filled in a beaker like this one, then put my probe in there and stir the probe and leave it there for a few seconds. And after that, I would have sent the zero DO calibration. Given that our calibration is done now, I'm going to go ahead and take the node out of the calibration by clicking this button. And now I'm going to go ahead and press the button. So now the sensor will start sending data, and we'll see the run packet, and then we'll see a data packet. So we'll just wait for that. So we got a run packet here, and now we'll get a data packet. As you see, the dissolved oxygen is generally between 7 to 9 at the room temperature, and saturation is around 80 to 120. In our case, the dissolved oxygen level is 8.74, and 104 is degrees the saturation. And this, to get the best results, you need to calibrate at the 0 DO and as well as the high point calibration. Once the calibration is done, you will put the probe cap back and to store, if you want to store it, or I'll recommend just putting in the solution or liquid where you want to measure it. That is about all about calibration. And how frequently you need to do calibration, it depends on your use case. It can go up to a few years, or it might go only a few months. So that well, once you see that, how do you know probe needs calibration? You will see it will start reading really low values after a while. It means the probe needs to be recalibrated. So that's a pretty good indication that you need to recalibrate the probe. That is about it from the calibration point of view. If you have any questions, reach out to us. Thank you.